So there are 5 candidates here, right? One is P, Q, R, S, and T. And 2 statements are true and 1 statement is false. So there are 3 statements in total and 2 of them are true. These 2 are 2 true statements and 1 is false. And there are 2 conclusions given and we need to figure out of the conclusions given which one of them are correct. So let's start with the statements. Let's start with the true statements. So one of P and Q was selected for the job. Only one of them. So that means there are 2 possible scenarios. That is case 1. In case 1, P is selected. I'm considering this case. P is selected, but Q is not selected. See, only one of them is selected. This is one case, or there could be one more possible scenario where Q is selected, but P is not selected. So there are 2 cases you need to consider based on the first statement. Now let's take the second one, which is a false statement. Keep that in mind. Okay, this statement is false. It's given that at least one of R and S was selected. That means this is a false statement. That means what? None of them are selected. Right? That's the only way we can say that this is false. That is R and S, none of them are not selected. None of them are selected for the job. So R is not selected and S is also not selected in both possible cases. Is it clear for you guys? Because it's given that this is false. So that's the only way we can make this statement false. None of them are selected. Now let's start with the third statement, which is a true statement. At most, 2 of these 3 candidates, R, S, and T, were selected for the job. At most. This word is very important. At most means what? Maximum 2 of them are selected. Maximum. There are 3 candidates. Out of them, maximum 2 of them are selected. Maximum. That is very important. That means there are 3 scenarios. One is none of them are selected. Only 1 is selected. And only 2 is selected. So these are the 3 scenarios that you should consider. Got it? So now let's take the first scenario. None of them are selected. That means out of R, S and T, none of them are selected. That means already we know that R and S are not selected. So in case 1, I can say T is also not selected. But in the second case, only one of them is selected. We already know that R and S, they are not selected. That means T, it's possible that they could select T as well. So it's a possibility. But here you don't need to consider this case because this is not possible. Because R and S, we already know that they are not selected. So it's not possible to select 2 of them. So I don't need to consider this case. So based on the third statement, which is a true statement, there are 2 possibilities. That means T can be selected or T could not be selected. There are 2 possible. Either the T is selected or T cannot be selected. There are 2 cases that you need to consider. So these are the 2 scenarios based on the statements given. Now let's analyze the conclusions given. Okay, let's start with the first conclusion. At least 4 were selected for the job. If you analyze both the cases, you can see that we can see that 4 were selected. No, it's not possible. Maximum 2 of them are selected. Maximum. Definitely 1 of them are selected, but max is 2. So clearly I can say that conclusion 1 is not correct. Because conclusion 1 says that at least 4 of them. Can you see 4 of them? No. Either P or Q or T, depends. And in case 2 also Q is selected, but T we are not sure about it. T can be selected or T cannot be selected. We don't know about it. So maximum 2, but here it says at least 4. For that reason, we can say statement 1, conclusion 1 is not correct. What about conclusion 2? Conclusion 2 says that S was selected for the job. That means in all the cases, S should be selected, must be selected. Okay. So here in this case, if you consider S, we can say that in both cases, S is not selected. So we can conclude that conclusion 2 is also not correct. So based on the analysis, your answer should be option D. That is neither 1 nor 2. That's the right answer for this particular question.